Hello, this is Ron Turner, and here's my summer internship presentation. This summer I've been lucky enough to internship at Liberty Wildlife, where they take in and rescue and rehabilitate injured wildlife that's native to Arizona and some that isn't. Their mission statement, however, is to nurture the nature of Arizona through wildlife rehabilitation, natural history education, and conservation services to the community. During my time here, I've been able to see some of the animals I've taken in. This great horned owl, some hawks. They have some animals in the education side, larger birds here, such as the bald eagle. Now, I'll pause here in this picture and talk a little bit about this photo. Liberty's got the ability to partner with different stakeholders. One of the stakeholders is SRP. Some number of birds that they get in are eagles and raptors that land on power lines, and when that happens, they become electrocuted and have to be brought in and evaluated. So to learn how to avoid that in the future, SRP has partnered with Liberty and used this cage to set up some mock power lines of different variations that they use, and cameras to see how the animals land on them. So this cage serves a dual purpose. One, to help SRP learn how to not electrocute birds in the future, and two, it's long enough and has a curve in it so that they can walk down to the cage where the bird is perched, and have somebody stand where I was standing when I took this picture and evaluate the birds as they fly over for, are they making noise? Are they able to navigate around a bend? And do we think they're flying well enough to be returned to the wild? So that's been awesome. And it's not just limited to birds. Here we have hummingbirds. This is a coati. They got Spaz the squirrel in there. Some animals that can be returned to the wild and some that can't. These are some that can't. Along with the coati that we saw earlier, these are birds on the education side that, for one reason or another, aren't able to be returned. This golden eagle here, it's kind of hard to see, but he was taken in by people that fed him the wrong kind of diet, and he wasn't getting the protein he needed, so his bones weren't strong enough to support him, and he actually has bad legs now and would never be able to return to the wild. Some of my projects that I've faced, this was one of my first ones. They have a duck encounter, or a duck enclosure that's located at the Rio Salado right behind their location, and it was getting too much sun and they weren't able to put ducks in, so I was able to come down here and put on this sunshade for them and fasten it down before we introduced ducks to the area there. The other large part of my internship thus far is developing a curriculum for their first ever summer camp at Liberty Wildlife. We had about 6 kids. The camp ranged from activities of physical nature and learning about such things as biomimicry, the importance of pollinators, and just the educational aspect of the birds that they have. Liberty had the unique experience of being able to bring in animals such like this, and students can draw them and learn about their history and learn about what brought them here and how to promote conservation in the future. Building's been a huge aspect of my internship as well, by request of myself. Talking to some people in the past, through the Coconino Forest Service and different agencies that I would want to work in, they all told me that building and construction is a sought-after experience to have for new employees. So I was looking at any chance I could have to help build, and I'm lucky enough this summer that they're building new cages there at Liberty, and work started out like this and was able to help them get to this point, and we're just past this. This was taken last week, but today we were able to add some more of the roofing and some more of the walls, and each one has a door, so coming along and should be done here shortly. And here's some more examples. They had a coyote here that broke loose this wiring, and we're bringing raccoons in on Monday, so we had to make sure that was fastened down. But just all aspects of building. Some learning outcomes that I've had so far, though, is that it really takes everybody working together to make this place great. They have people working on fundraising and people working on getting grants. It's a nonprofit, so there's a huge collaboration, not only excuse me, not only in-house but out-house as well. Different stakeholders around, like I mentioned, SRP, and they work with Game and Fish and other agencies as well. It's really, really pivotal for them. A main challenge I've had thus far is narrowing down what I want to take from my internship. And that's going to lead me to my next project, actually, which is going to be able to build mouse arenas. So for the flying cage that we saw, I'm going to be able to build some mouse arenas, and it's actually just a box without a top that the eagles and the owls can fly over and pick out the mice, and that'll be able to tell us that they're ready to hunt and ready to be released. So aside from that, my internship has only told me that conservation is the way to go for me, and I might be looking more into the nonprofit sector rather than somewhere like the Nature Conservancy or the Forest Service. So this could be an actual long-term place for me if they'll have me. Thanks so much.